stuck me in the Speed Force for an eternity of hell. Now welcome to yours.
No, don't do this. Don't do this.
Now, finally, I am free of you.
I'm begging you.
Barry!
You lose, Barry.
Hey YouTubers, The Flash totally did all the things. There are so many big season 4 things they teased, as well as stuff that they did before the actual finale. Let's break it down. There's a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. That Flash Ring is not going to help them right now. You kind of see what they did here. They had this big build-up. Barry throughout the episode was making really weird choices. Oh, I'm going to break all these rules that I created for myself. And then Captain Cold gives him that big idea at the end. Hey, don't try to beat him at his own game. The greatest thing about you is your goodness. So it just lets you know that there's no gun that's going to be able to stop Savitar. So they even said it during the episode. It sounded like a throwaway line. But turns out Savitar was not wrong. But so many comic book Easter eggs. So we'll start with number 10. Cisco and Barry find out that Argus has the Dominator power source that's left over from the big mid-season crossover. Lila pulls this really hard line. Look, Barry, you did a flashpoint. Is this because of baby Sarah? I loved all the jokes about that. It's still a bit of a sore point for Diggle, even though they have John Diggle Jr., the potential future Connor Hawke. Now, the Connor Hawke that they did on Legends of Tomorrow was sort of like a post-apocalyptic alternate timeline version, so who knows if we'll ever see him again. But I do think that whatever future they come to, he will become Connor Hawke no matter what. So take from that what you will. But there was like a bit of a crossover with Arrow, like the very light way they did it with the text at the beginning where Felicity was helping Cisco with all the satellite work. There was a whole bunch of Lila during the episode, and I love that the fact that they were able to use her so much because she's a great actress and she's a huge character now that she's the Amanda Waller for the Arrowverse. So if you're not a big comic book person, obviously you know about the Suicide Squad because they literally called it out during the episode, but there are a lot of characters from the Flash comics, core Flash villains that have been members of the Suicide Squad over the years, including King Shark. So even though Arrow gave birth to the very first version of the team, the Flash has just as much claim to them as anyone else. So we'll talk about them in a second. Suicide Squad stuff is season 4 stuff. So they're teasing a whole bunch of stuff in this episode, and that was just one of the biggest things. But number 9, Barry needs to pull the heist. So he goes and he gets Captain Cold from Legends of Tomorrow, Siberia in the 1800s. So the only other time that they were in Siberia in season 1 was when they had that Firestorm episode with Valentina Vostok. She merges with Martin Stein to become the female Firestorm. If you remember, she's the actress from Mr. Robot. She did a great job, but it was way back during season 1. So this is the version of Captain Cold that hasn't sacrificed himself. At the end of the episode when he says, "No strings on me," that was the line that he said during the Legends season 1 finale when he sacrificed his life for the rest of the team. "No strings on me." So the deal with this version of Captain Cold is that when Heatwave brought him back at the end of Legends Season 2, he wiped his mind. So this version of Captain Cold doesn't know about anything that happened during Season 2, even though Reverse Flash went back and pulled him out of time. So he's been all over the place the last couple of seasons. I know it's kind of confusing, but they ended on good terms, and Captain Cold is still on the way to becoming a hero during that Season 1 of Legends timeline. But love the introduction, love the Taken reference. I need somebody with a particular set of skills. Captain Cold just rolls in with the biggest smile on his face. I always love it when he's on the show. He's such a core character, he'll always come back, even if they have to have some crazy time travel explainer. But number 8, everybody is starting to get pissed at Barry because he broke his time travel rule again. This is what got you into trouble in the first place. And it starts this theme during the episode where Barry has a choice to make. Like, he chooses to almost try and kill King Shark until Captain Cold's like, "Dude, we can do this another way. You don't have to kill him." So that's also going to play into how Barry defeats Savitar in the finale. Captain Cold gave him the speech, "Beat him with your true power, the power of hope." But on the route to Barry sort of figuring that out, he did all kinds of fun stuff. And it's kind of the same thing for Cisco when he moves into that final fight with Caitlin. It's time for me to face her. It's very Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, Death Star fight. Like, it makes it seem like somebody's gonna end up dying, and it's all playing out as he's vibed it in the past. So it's like, oh my god, he's gonna lose his hands any minute now. But it's all about teasing a way of getting rid of the problem without having to kill them, just like King Shark style. Cisco does not have to kill Caitlin in order to prevent this from going completely sideways. Number 7, though, that Killer Frost Savitar scene, that was so much fun. So you learn a little bit about Savitar outside of the costume. We haven't had too many scenes of him just standing around when he's not trying to be fearsome. Barry damaged my suit, and you see Caitlin slowly try to talk him out of killing Iris. Do you really want to do this? There was a version of you that loved her, and he just explains that he thought that he was disposable. He created me just so that he could throw me away when he was done with me. So why should I care about him? Those types of scenes are for all the people who are like, why would any version of Barry ever want to kill Iris? They want Savitar to feel like he's been completely abandoned by the people that love him, and the only recourse is to become a god so that you can free yourself from all these feelings. But that sounds like a bit of a red herring. Like, even becoming a god wouldn't really get rid of your pain. You would probably experience everything simultaneously. But number 6, welcome back Harrison Wells from Earth 2. It's so awesome for them to hat tip to that, and I'm expecting to see Jesse Quick back for the finale as well as Jay Garrick. Pretty much every big Flash character that you haven't seen in a while and you're like, hey, wait a minute, what happened to that person? Jay Garrick is just the biggest one because he's still stuck in the Speed Force prison right now, but they get like a critical piece of technology from him as he's working on it, and they also use it as an opportunity to stash Iris. But number 5, Barry pretending to be Lila with the face-changing devices they break in. This is very important. They're teeing up core concepts that are going to pay off in the finale. The face changer that HR used earlier this year seemed like a bit of a throwaway joke, comes back, becomes a really important thing in this episode, might also come into play because HR feels like he hasn't contributed. He feels like a failure. You've given so much to me. This is my home. I met the woman that I'm in love with now. What could I possibly give to you of value? So he could probably give his life. So if somebody's going to die in the finale, I feel like all of the HR storyline in this episode was building towards that sacrifice. But you guys can let me know, just for HR storyline, there's a bunch of big questions for characters that need to be answered in the finale, but I feel like his is pretty clear. Like, yeah, he definitely wants to play the hero. Cisco said at the end of the episode, you always show up when we need you. And Barry doesn't know about anything that happened that they were planning. So as Barry was seeing Iris die at the end of the episode, there could have been things that happened that make it so that our version of Iris isn't dead, but somebody did kill Iris in this moment, or somebody who looked like Iris. So because they actually did kill Iris at the end of the episode, there's obviously going to be some huge twist in the finale. I was so happy the way they ended the episode. Such a powerful moment. Like, you've lost, at least from Barry's perspective. We're meant to view this moment from his perspective. But number 4, there's still so much in the episode to unpack. Meet your new Suicide Squad. So we have Cheetah, we have Grodd, King Shark, and Cupid. So what they're saying here is that if they do Suicide Squad next year, this is what it's going to look like. But because that is a lot of CG characters, including Cupid, that's going to be freaking expensive. So I'm going to call it right now, biggest prediction for Season 4, if they pay that off, because they tee things up like that, like in Season 1 when they show you the Flash Museum, they show you Killer Frost, big things from the Flash comics that they slowly pay off. We got Killer Frost, now I feel like they'll pay this off eventually, and what they'll do is they'll use it for like a 2-part episode, because it costs them so much money that they have to amortize the cost of doing all that CG over 2 episodes. So just plan on Suicide Squad stuff happening next season, at least on The Flash, but maybe on Arrow as well, because they called it out, now they gotta pay it off. There were all kinds of Jaws jokes, so obviously they took a dig at the Jaws movie. They didn't have enough money to make it look good, so that's why they never showed it full on. Yes, that's true of the Steven Spielberg movie, but the Flash TV show also does not have a lot of money, so they were kind of making fun of themselves. They couldn't show King Shark full on for too much time, so that was really what they were making fun of. They had the Jaws music cue, it was great. I love it when the Flash is hitting all those bases. You know, it's really funny, but there's this big dramatic moment. Number 3, even more Season 4 setup where HR invites Tracy onto Team Flash formally. They have this big moment, they have that giant coffee machine, and obviously I think that she's going to stick around for Season 4, but it really feels like set up to pull the rug out from under us, and HR will end up dying in the finale. But number 2, Savitar finds out where Iris is, shows up on Earth 2, totally wrecks Wally, so he is incapacitated for the finale, takes Iris, terrorizes the team. Don't call me that name. And then number 1, everybody moves into place and Barry is forced to live out that moment with Iris dying again. Even though he has the gun and Ghostbusters style just fires at him, it totally looks like the proton pack from Ghostbusters. And Savitar just shrugs it off. What Savitar is saying is that he's just had infinite amounts of time to learn how to utilize the Speed Force, so he knows how to counteract it, and then explains that the Philosopher's Stone is part of the key to it because it is a calcified piece of Speed Force energy. So we finally learned the secret of the Philosopher's Stone, why it's able to give people powers who had powers during Flashpoint, unlock them, the Speed Force husks. Because the dark matter explosion is what gave people their powers in the first place, and that's basically Speed Force just peppered throughout the city. So touching the stone would be like drinking a Speed Force milkshake. That'd be crazy for speedsters, so it makes him that much more powerful. There were so many other great moments in the episode. I don't want to turn this into like a 50-minute long video. When Iris was talking to Joe about being kids, oh, when I was a kid, I lied. I tried to sneak out. That's why I switched room with Barry. He tells her about the blues cruise that he went on. Such great moments. So let me know in the comments, what was your favorite moment in the episode? Even though there's like a lot of stuff that I didn't include in the episode, but obviously Infantino Street, last big Easter egg, is Carmine Infantino, the person who created most of the big rogues that you've seen on The Flash, including the Reverse Flash himself. So obviously what's going to happen next is I'll do a trailer video for next week's episode, and I'll try to answer some of the big questions that we have, like how could Iris still be alive in season 4 if we just saw her die? There's going to be a big twist. One of two things just happened. Either HR found a way to swap himself for Iris and face change, or she really did die, and Barry's going to have to petition the Speed Force, and that will be part of the bargain that he makes, and serve his penance as a way to bring Iris back, because if he can go into the Speed Force, he can prevent Savitar from becoming Savitar, so it'll retroactively fix the timeline, and Iris won't be dead. She'll just magically come back. I'll say congratulations to Christopher Rodriguez. You're the latest giveaway winner. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. You can click here for that Flash trailer that has more footage for the finale, and click here for new Justice League and to learn about the Doomsday Clock that Jeff Johns just teased. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.